So iMovie for iPadOS 14 got a pretty big update that's got some pretty cool features that I'm pretty stoked about. So one of my favorite has to do with titles. So for the first time, when I choose a clip and I go to add a title, you can now actually change the color of that title, which does not sound like a very big deal. But if you've ever used iMovie a bunch, you're probably pretty sick of white titles. So now I have an option down here that I can change fonts to any font I want, and then I can go ahead and change titles to any title color I want, which is handy. And then these three dots right here give me a few other effects that I can add to be able to adjust that. Now, the other cool thing I can do with titles is I can now click and drag to put them anywhere I want. So I don't have to simply use a lower third title or something. If I want it to be at the bottom, I can put any of my titles at the bottom like that if I want, which is cool. Another really cool new feature that I think is helpful is the ability to add backgrounds to your clips. So over here under Media, there is a new background section, and if I go to Backgrounds, Apple has included a bunch of solid backgrounds, some gradients, and some patterns to choose from. So if I chose a simple gradient and hit plus, it'll add this just as a clip like anything else, and then again I could click on it and maybe add some text to it or so on directly on top of that. So those are pretty handy. Works great for things like titles or even doing some things like green screen and that, which is great. The other thing I can do is they have added the ability to control some of the filters or effects that you would add to a clip. So if I were to click on a clip and tap filters, I get a whole bunch of different filters and stuff to choose from. But now if I choose one of these filters, I get a slide bar here that allows me to adjust the strength of that filter. So I can give it just a hint instead of having it be the full filter every single time, which is pretty helpful. And the last thing they added here, which I'm a big fan of, has to do with audio. So one of my biggest complaints is that clips on iPad had all these really cool soundtracks built in, but none of them were in iMovie. Well, Apple finally fixed that, and now if I go to audio and go to soundtracks, as long as I have the Clips app installed, I should have all of the same copyright-free songs that were in Clips are all now here and available for me to choose from. And the best part is when I choose one, it'll automatically resize the length of that clip or of that song to match the length of my movie. Automatically ends an ending to it and a beginning to it, so it ends perfectly no matter how I do it. So those are some of the cool new updates that got added to iMovie in iPadOS 14.